Okay, we are going to do a reading right now on the relationship between the United States and Mexico. Now, this is a requested topic from the Patreon channel, but it was a two-part question, so we're going to do this one on the general YouTube, and there is going to be a second part of this on the Patreon when we look at the fires. But for right now, we're looking at the relationship between the United States and Mexico. So San Andreas 12 was our word and number. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a card here for the United States and put a card here for Mexico. So we're going to do the north and south kind of thing. And then we'll look at our root card, which is Three of Pentacles. Now, that's interesting because with a root card immediately of a Three of Pentacles, this is showing collaboration, teamwork. Now, one of the other things about this is it's a three. So this is showing a collaboration not just between these two governments, but between, I mean, there's another member in there too. So on the United States side, we get a Seven of Pentacles, the witch practicing witchcraft. But here it's cultivating a skill, like working on a skill. And for the Mexico side, we get the King of Swords, which is the militaristic leader, very much the commander. It's interesting that the King of Swords is showing up on that side. Now, I'm going to pull another card here because this is the root card and it shows what's really happening, right? And it's collaboration. Now we're going to pull one just as like this blending together of the energies, and we get the star. All right. Now, I am honestly not that up on the news between with Mexico and the United States. Uh, but what this is showing is that they are collaborating, and the star is showing like wishes granted. I mean, again, we have the symbol of the water that's showing up in the star. Um, but the way I'm reading this is like whatever their plans are working out. So I do not see hostility here at all. Um, and we've got a calculating leader in the King of Swords for Mexico. Also, one of the things that comes out here in the King of Swords is this little dude down here. Now that's the king's servant. He's like this little toady. So when the King of Swords makes a decision, they kind of this is the one that actually carries it out. You know, the king isn't out there in the field chopping shit down. It's this dude. So we've got a servant here. Let's just see if we can find out a little more because, I don't really know about either one of these. So let's do a little bit of a descriptive card on both. So, what is it that the United States is learning about? And we actually get two of them coming out there. And let's just see the King of Swords. What is the King of Swords mulling over here? Huh. So for the King of Swords, what is the King of Swords mulling over? We get this Nine of Cups. And that is actually a little bit of confusion, at least, where there's so many options that they don't really know what to do. Now, the King of Swords is not the kind of person that can be baited or like trolled into doing something. They're very calculating, right? So, in the case of a nine of cups showing up here, the king of swords, in a state of confusion, they're probably going to err on the side of maybe not doing anything. They're not going to do anything rash. And up here, what is it that the United States is developing their skill on? Well, we get the freaking magician, and this is a bunch of different things. What's kind of sticking out to me is the finger in the cup. And, I mean, that's so United States to have their finger in so many pies, right? But we also get this page of wands. Huh. What are we looking at? The thing that's sticking out is the fact that it's a child. Um, so there's something about education in here. And I don't know if this means the United States is sticking their fingers in the pie of education of Mexico. I mean, maybe someone knows more about that shit than I do, but that's kind of what I get here. Like the United States is putting their finger in all of the different pies, but it's like I don't know what the Mexican Department of Education is like, but this would kind of imply that the United States is getting all in there. Um, Now here, with this Three of Pentacles, this is all agreed upon, right? It's not necessarily invading energy because it is collaborative. Okay. Now, let's just see what we have, if there are any real problems between these two. What is the friction? And so we get an Eight of Swords. Now, the friction here is just, it's like fucking waiting, right? It's like being trapped here. The moon is fucking with their head, trying to get him to jump out the window. But to me, this is just saying like they're kind of waiting on something to happen. And it's like, let's say you plan an event or you plan a trip, and in between now and the time that that happens, you might just be freaking out. And that's what this looks like to me. Let's just see what sort of event they're waiting for. Well, again, we have waiting. This is boredom, emotional stagnation. Hold on. Now we're looking a little closer at this. You see the way the cup is falling down potentially into the water? Now, this might be some sort of planned pollution of the water. Now, on the Patreon channel, we are going to look at these fires, right? Because the Mexican state-owned oil company has had several explosions and fires over like the last week or two, and it is highly suspicious. It's most likely not a coincidence, so it's being done on purpose. But from everything that the readings are saying, like this is just part of the deal. Um, Polluting water and disabling like these infrastructure things seems to be part of this like worldwide thing that is going on. Now here we also have the Judgment card. Um, so part of what they would kind of be waiting on is maybe this is a fucking legal thing or something like that. But we have, the way I'm reading this is like a pollution of the water or dropping something into the water. And then the Judgment card is how it is judged. Now, hold on. I got to pull one more because who's doing the judging here, you know? Is it the earth doing the judging? Is it like people or other countries doing the judging? And this is an economic judgment, actually. Huh. So it looks like they're waiting for the economic repercussions of pollution. But going back to this three, this is agreed upon. Like this is it's there's a third party, and these three parties are in agreement. This is the way it's going to go. Now, um, just when we look at the six, because it's like throwing money and time and energy at a ghost. You know, it's like throwing money away, but that's why I'm pretty sure that that's talking about an economic judgment or repercussion. Now, here's the question. Which way are they trying to make it go? Is it an economic boon or is it an economic bust? And the sun is the card that comes out. So I'm assuming that they are trying to have it positively affect the economy. I mean, at least for the people who are in the governments and the third party. All right, I'm going to look at this third party. Let's just see what we got. So we got this three. So it's the United States government, the Mexican government. Who is the third party here? Whoop. The King of Wands reversed. Well, all right. Mexican government is showing up as a King of Swords. So this third party is another king. So it's probably another country. Um, and if it isn't, it's someone who has the fucking power of a national government. Now, maybe this is the cartels or something like that, specifically because the King of Wands is reversed. So the King of Wands is normally the ultimate father figure, and they're the kind of person that leads by example, right? And the King of Wands reversed is basically someone who is going to tell you to do something that they would never do. You know, they're a total hypocrite. They're usually kind of a dick. Now, this doesn't narrow it down when we're looking at potential governments or anything like that, because I feel like they're all like that. Um, so I'm going to do a yes or no at this point to find out if the third party in the collaboration is cartels. A whole bunch of cards just flew out. Um, and reversed Empress, reversed 10. As far as a yes or no, I'm guessing that this is saying a no, or if you could see the sheer number of cards that fell out here, this would say that it is not that simple. Um, it's a more complicated answer than that. Well, that makes sense because there are also multiple cartels. Let's pull a card to see if there's anything that I haven't asked or whatever. Like, what else do we have here? U.S. and Mexico. And we get the Hanged Man. This is just going more into their waiting. Like, they're waiting for something. So they planned some shit, right? And have done some shit, I guess. And they're just waiting for the repercussions of it. Probably economic repercussions, but here it's the clock. The clock is just ticking. So they're waiting for some shit to happen. All right. Well, I guess the good sort of news is that this isn't hostile. That doesn't mean anything good for the people of either country, but it's just showing that the governments themselves are working together. And it looks like in Mexico, the leader is someone who is going to make a rational decision. They have some form of a Jean-Luc Picard who's making the decisions there, apparently. And I don't know shit about, I don't even know who the Mexican president is, or if that's even the person that makes the decisions. You know what I mean? So that's what we get here. United States and Mexico waiting on some sort of economic judgment. From what I'm pulling out of this, it probably has to do with all of these disasters that have been happening. Now, on the Patreon channel, I am going to look at these disasters and the fires and explosions and all of that stuff. And also on there, I have a reading about the next pandemic. We just did one about Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum. There's one more on there, and I don't remember what it is, but I'm trying to do one every day or every other day for that. And if you do want to join the Patreon, and it's $5 for the basic tier per month, which is like buying old Fergus a coffee, which I would appreciate a great deal. So if you do want to look at those other readings, that's where they are. It's patreon.com/Tarot by Fergus. And if you have any other ideas on this, because I don't really know shit about Mexico or the United States and how they come together. So if you see other stuff in here, feel free to let me know. That's what we have for now. Peace.